I said, I really need help. She says, is that you in the ditch? I said, yes. And I need to phone a tow truck. Is there any way I can use your phone?
I want to welcome you back again for another story answering the question, is God active? Today I'm here with my sister, Carla Dubana, who has been known for her wild driving at times. And today she's going to tell us a story, how she may have gotten into the ditch. We're going to find out the details. Carla.
So years ago, I was driving and I had to take a detour from going to town and go onto the reserve to drop off some things. And the road was flat, level road. And as I'm driving along this flat, level road, I went right into the ditch. And it was a big enough ditch that I actually couldn't get out without help. So I was kind of like shocked at, first of all, how did I get in that ditch? Because that's really embarrassing. And then how am I going to get help? So anyway, I got out of my vehicle and I thought, I've got to get help. Right beside me is a house that I can go and knock on, but there's 2 dogs there on skidder chains. So I'm thinking, no, that's the last place I'm going. So I started going and knocking on doors. And I went to every door that I could go to and I knocked and nobody answered. So then I'm thinking, okay, it's winter, it's getting cold. I've got to get help. I'm going to have to go to this house. So I was really scared. I prayed, Lord, just get me through those dogs. So I prayed, I went right close as I could without them being able to get to me. And then I kind of just squinted my eyes and quickly walked through. I knocked on the door. This lady came to the door and she's kind of shocked. She said, how did you get through the dogs? I said, I prayed. And I kind of squinted my eyes partly shut. I said, I really need help. She says, is that you in the ditch? I said, yes. And I need to phone a tow truck. Is there any way I can use your phone? She's like, oh, I can do better than that. My husband can help you. He's having a nap right now. I'll wake him up. I'm thinking, good, he'll love that. So anyway, she goes and wakes him up and he comes out and you can tell he's visibly angry. He did not want to be woken up. He's not happy. So he comes out, brings his truck, hooks me up, pulls me out. But as he's pulling me out, I hear this noise, this kind of crunching, bad noise. And I look and his bumper has been bent. And I'm thinking, oh, and now he's really mad. He's swearing. He's just ticked. So I was just like, I just got to get out of here as quick as I can. So he unhooks me. I say thank you and I'm gone. As I'm heading into town, there's this thought in my mind and this strong impression. You need to go make this right. You need to do something to make this right. These people kindly help you. And now that they have, they've got problems.
A wrecked bumper.
Yeah. So I thought, okay, I'm going to take out some money. And I also had a strong impression on how much I should take out. So I took money out of the bank, did my errands, and I'm heading back up the hill to go to where I'm going. And then I had this, again, strong impression, you should go get flowers. This lady needs flowers. So it was strong enough that it actually stopped the vehicle, turned around, went back and got flowers. So I'm heading back. Once again, I got to go through these dogs, but I've been through once before. So I prayed again, got through, knocked on the door. She comes out. And I just want to explain to you that she's you can see by visually that she's had a hard life, very thin, looks like a typical drug addict. So I give her these flowers and I say, I just want to thank you so much for your help. It really meant so much to me. And the tears just started rolling down her face. She said, I've never received flowers in my life. And she was so touched. So I said, I have something for your husband. Could you get your husband? So she went and got her husband. And he came and I said, I have some money. I'm just so sorry that in helping me, you wrecked your vehicle and I just wanted to give you this. He was kind of surprised at the amount of money. I'm guessing because it must have been kind of the amount that it would cost to fix it. So I could tell he was touched by that. And I said, thank you. And I left. And when I got home, I was just thanking God because I felt like this was a divine appointment. Like there was something set up there. It just didn't seem like that should have all happened. Anyway, that evening I told my husband, I feel like the angels pushed me in the ditch today.
Sure. And I'm sure he believed you.
He was like, I've heard a lot of your stories, Carla, but that's probably not a good one. And anyway, I said, no, you got to understand these people. I was supposed to meet them. I'm sure we're going to be running into them again. Anyway, 2 years go by. 2 years. And I get a phone call in the middle of the night.
And you haven't run into anybody or?
Not one time in those 2 years did I see any of them, either of them. So I take care of children. So I get a phone call in the middle of the night and it's the police officer. And he says, we have a little baby boy here, and he's kind of gone through some pretty rough stuff tonight. He needs a home to go to. Can he come to your house? So I said, yes. They received my number from obviously a social worker, and they brought this little boy to me in the middle of the night, and they handed him to me. I had a little blanket over his head, and they just handed him to me. He was really shaking. He'd gone through a lot. So I rocked him through that night, and I thought, wow, this poor little guy. Just was praying for him.
Yeah.
The next day, I got a phone call. And when the phone rang, it was a very angry person. It wasn't just one person, it was actually two. I could hear a man and a woman. And they were swearing, they were yelling. The man said, I am the chief's brother. You have my grandson, I've been told.
Oh.
First of all, I don't know how they got my phone number. But they said, we've been told you have our grandson, and we are going to do everything we can to remove him from your home. You are not keeping him. You're a white home, and we want him with the First Nations people. And he was so angry. And I typically wouldn't do this because it's not protocol ever. But I said, would you like to come over? Would you like to come and meet us and see your grandson? And he kind of said, okay. And so I gave him the address. Well, when they knocked on the door, I opened the door and literally my mouth just fell open. Because it was these people I'd met 2 years ago.
Wow.
They said, it's you. And I said, it's you. And they came in and we had the most amazing talk. They were so thankful that their little grandson was in our home. It changed everything. We actually became good friends.
Wow.
And I kept thinking, through the years, that was 2 years. That was before that little boy was born.
Wow.
Before he was born, this was all set up.
Wow.
For a purpose.
Wow. Oh. There's a text in the Bible, and it comes out of Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5. And it says, I knew you before I formed you in your mother's womb. Before you were born, I set you apart. You may question once in a while, like, things don't work out the way I hoped or wanted. But why is this happening to me? Doesn't anybody care about me? This Bible text says that God knew you before you were formed. I want to tell you that God does care. And if you rely on Him, He can help you. And I also want to ask you to join us next week as we continue answering the question, is God active?